What is going on, YouTube? It's the Bearded Latino with an opinion, back at you again. If you're new to the channel, I want you to go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification, and hit the thumbs up. We want to grow this family. Let's try to get to at least 100. Let's set small goals right now, and let's go with 100. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, I want to thank you, and I want to remind you, please pass this around. I do know that I did say that I was going to be working on a Sanctuary City video soon, but right now there's something that I really want to address. How can I put it? I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, and that's what this video is about. I've had people say, well, if you have your carry permit, you'll be fine. Nothing can happen to you. Well, that's incorrect information. Case in point is, in New Jersey, there's a young man. His name is, I believe it's Roosevelt Twine. Used to work for an armored car company. He went through every possible law. He went through everything to get legally licensed to carry a gun, a handgun. And his job gave him ammunition to put into this 9mm, which were hollow points. This is what the company required of him. Well, let's start off with, this is the way liberal laws work. He was pulled over, and he told the police officer that he had a firearm with him, and he also had a permit to carry said firearm, and where he worked at. Well, they still arrested him for supposedly having hollow points and for unlawful transportation of a firearm. So how is it unlawful transportation of a firearm when he got all the paperwork that he needed? That's something you have to think about. He went through everything possible to get this paperwork, and yet he's still being charged with unlawful transportation. Interesting. Well, the fun part is they went ahead and they charged him with it. He has since lost his job because he was arrested and given okay, so he was arrested, and because he was arrested, he lost his job. Instead of his job stepping up to the plate and saying, hey, look, this is what we required of him, this is what we told him to carry, and we're going to be providing legal defense for him. No, they didn't do that. Instead, they turned their backs on him. This is the prime example, all right? Even if you live in a liberal state, why you really cannot trust their laws, because look how they found a loophole to still find him within a reasonable, how can I put it, within a reasonable margin within their laws to say, well, we have enough to arrest you. Why? Because he was carrying hollow points? I don't see anything wrong with carrying hollow points, because quite honestly, carrying hollow points is the responsible thing to actually do. And the reason it's responsible is because a hollow point is designed that when it hits a target, it expands to hopefully stop there. As long as it functions as it's supposed to function, that's what it does. Not like a full metal jacket that it'll just more than likely go right through, and it can possibly hit somebody else. So, you know, this is something that we all have to look at. You know, as responsible gun owners, we have to sit down and say, where is enough? I mean, he went to the point of even making sure that he met the New Jersey laws as to how many rounds per magazine he could carry. You see, this is why these laws are ridiculous, because they're actually designed and worded in such a way that no matter what you do, you will always be wrong. All right? I mean, look what Bloomberg did. Bloomberg admitted his campaign is over, but he's not done with yet. He's actually going to be sticking his hand in and continue sticking his hand in. When is it that we're going to grab his little midget hand and put it over the fire to keep him out of it and tell him you need to mind your own business? Folks, we cannot let these things continue to happen. All right? If you look at the Second Amendment, the way the Second Amendment was written was so we can have the same capabilities as the military, but yet we face restrictions. They are infringing on the Second Amendment. So what are we going to do? Are we just going to sit back and let this continue happening? Because it happened to Mr. Twine. It can happen to you. It can happen to a loved one. It can happen to anybody that you know. And where are all these other politicians that supposedly care about the Second Amendment in this case? They're nowhere. They're hiding because they really don't care. I'd like to see some or one of these organizations like the NRA or whichever other organization come up to the plate and say, look, we're going to defend this young man. But that's not happening. Apparently there's not enough money or incentive involved in it to come up and defend him. People, we got to wake up. These liberals, they're putting in gun laws left and right that's going to strip us of our freedoms. We cannot let it happen. All right. Again, folks, I do apologize for the fact that I haven't gotten to the Sanctuary City video, but this came up. This has been going on, and I had to say something about it. Pass the word around. Pass this video around. Let others know that just because they do have a carry permit, it doesn't mean that you're fully protected. Till next time, love you guys.